What's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potcheck. Apparently, Tino doesn't want to show his background tonight, but our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats Called the Wrestling Song. Is available on iTunes for what's it available for, Tino?
99 cents.
99 Jones.
99
Jones. Yes, it's available for 99 cents. We're here as always on a Monday night, and we watched, and I'm getting into this before we actually talk about what's up with us. We watched the AEW Revolution pay-per-view, which was basically 1 year after we went to the AEW Revolution pay-per-view because last year in March we went to go see Sting's last match.
Oh, was that Revolution?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you forgot. So it was like the anniversary of that. But just so everybody knows, it was. We like Tino randomly messaged me and said, are we doing it? And I'm like, yeah, come on over. And so we watched it, and we'll talk about that all night tonight. Because there was a lot from it. And I might not be the only one that was negative towards certain things about it.
There's only one thing I was like, what the fuck is this horse shit? Because I did say I quit.
Well, don't give it away. See, that is what we call like something that leads people to want to stay the entire episode.
They're gonna stay anyway.
So, but folks, before we do that, what happened? What happened? There we go.
What?
I tried to go to the banners, and it wasn't showing it. It just made everything disappear. But before we do that, I don't want to see you playing with your whirly gig. But I do want to say, Tino, we always start the show every week with the segment called "What's Up with You."
Your mama. Oh, Tourette's for a second. Not much going on. I had a stomach issue yesterday, and it bled over until today. So because
did you say it bled over?
Okay, well it continued today, but Rob was trying to text me yesterday, and I was busy, and I finally had to say, "Look, dude, I was in the bathroom, and I think the breakfast I ate when I was 2 years old. What the hell did he have? I think the breakfast that I ate when I was 2 years old came back. What happened? You disappeared. What'd you do?
We're good.
The hell did you do?
I was taking a drink.
You don't want nobody to see you taking a drink?
Well, I was taking it off of a half gallon.
Again, you've never done that on the show before? That's like last night you tried to give me a drink. He was pouring out the handle. He's like, "You want some of this?" I'm like, "Is that what you drink straight out of the show?" No, I don't want none of that. So Rob called me. I'm like, "Yeah, I think the breakfast I ate when I was 2 years old just came out."
Dude, when you said that, I literally turned to the person I was sitting next to, and I was like, he just said that he thinks the breakfast he had when he was 2 years old came out. Like there was Lucky Charms actually in whatever he threw up and shit out and whatever.
It was No, it was the cinnamon and raisin oatmeal. But
Cinnamon raisin. Man, you were raised horribly. Like you
that was
didn't have
good.
any no
That was
no
good
Lucky
shit.
Charms in it.
No, but Lucky Charms Fruit Loops was my cereal. Lucky Charms sucks. But so yeah, so my stomach was hurting. And that's
Don't you
about
ever
it.
say
I
Lucky
gotta go.
Charms.
It sucks. It's magically disgusting. And then this weekend I I'm going back to
You're,
Hickory
you're
again.
you're doing a heel turn here. Is what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm in a heel turn kind of mood.
It seems like it.
But I'm John. Just call me John Cena. But yeah. So we're going to Hickory this weekend. Kind of excited. I'm excited about that. So get to play shows, make some money. Then I get to come back and mow the grass apparently because it's here.
It's that time of year.
It's here.
It done started, and in fact, it was probably a month ago. And you're like, I'm just gonna let it wait.
Yeah, I was letting it wait. I was like, oh, eh. Now I can't because my dog was in the backyard, and I was like, oh, she's in the jungle because she laid down, and she's like, oh, because we got the
You
new
can't
fence
find her no more.
because we got the new fence, right? So when they did that, and they put all the new grass, and they put I don't know why I let them do it. They put year-round grass in it, so it grows year-round. So I'm like, I should have just
Damn
said, just make that shit. Yeah,
bitches.
yeah, that shit's like up to my ankles now, so I got to go out there and cut it. Yeah, I'm like, it's a big ass 6 foot privacy fence, and nobody see back there but me unless I'm looking out the back door.
But by the way, for fans of the show, this is big boy problems here, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm about
I
to, I'm
gotta
about to,
I gotta mow my lawn.
no, I think this is the year. I think this is the year I retire and pass it on to Junior.
You know what? He gets his steps in by doing it.
Yeah, that's why I usually do it. I put my headphones in, and I don't mind cutting the grass. I put my headphones in and just go out there and listen to music, cut the grass, and just get to think and just yeah, it's my meditation time.
So I don't know if you know this, Tino, but I am allergic to cut grass.
What?
Like whatever
Well, because you
comes up.
damn
What?
you're allergic to your own sweat too. That's
I am. Yeah, I'm allergic to some weird ass shit. You know what I'm not allergic to? And I don't know if I've actually said this on the program or not. I am not allergic to poison ivy.
well, good because I think I might have some. You might need to come get that shit up.
I'll still want gloves.
No, no, we don't see how allergic you aren't.
But seriously, I am allergic to my own sweat. I am allergic to cut grass. Like I'm allergic to some of the dumbest shit ever. But
So what happens
knowing
when
that
you cut
I'm not
grass?
allergic to poison ivy, it's like, do I give up what I'm not allergic to, or do I want to not be allergic to those other things? And I can live my life without ever having to cut the grass. Like I can hire people to do that, so I don't have to do that.
Well, I could too.
The sweat thing,
That's
it's
just that's weird. That's
it's
weird.
well, I'm not even the only one in my family that has that. Like my sister is allergic to her own sweat, and that's how I figured out that I was allergic to mine. But I sit there and I try to do the thing where, like, if I know I've been sweating, I grab like wipes and sit there and try to clean myself multiple times during the day, trying to keep everything like okay, but it's weird. But yeah, I'm not allergic to poison ivy, which is really weird
Weird.
considering I'm allergic to all those other bullshit things. Like, and when we say bullshit, I mean it is bullshit to be allergic to your own sweat.
Yeah, I remember when we spent 24 hours moving you that day.
Dude, I was laid up for like 3 days after
Oh
that.
my God.
I was putting like Balmex cream on shit. And,
Good
and
night.
and by the way, I just want to go ahead and say, Tino just sat there and talked about how he was like shitting out things from when he was 2 years old. I'm sitting here talking about like me actually dealing and having to put Balmex cream on like certain areas of my body like a baby. And yet we just do this like it's nothing. Like we really don't care that people know this about us. Now,
Actually, this is the clean version. I don't think they got the this clean version of what we were talking about yesterday. 'Cause I think I actually said, "Well, I'm on the shitter," and sorry, I couldn't take it back. I was on the shitter.
no, but
this is the kind of shit we talk about.
You were like, I'm sorry I did. Well, okay, so here's how it happened. Tino sits there and I message him because he messages me saying, "Are we watching the pay-per-view?" And talking about the AEW pay-per-view. And I said, "Well, I just left the house. If you want to, I can be home by 7:30." And he didn't message back. This was like 3:00 in the afternoon. Like I can look up the exact time, but I'm not going to.
It was 3:02, and then
shit. Are you serious? Was I that close?
And
wow.
At 4:32, you text back, so yay or nay.
So at 4:32, I message him back and said, so exactly an hour and a half later, I sit there and say, yay or nay. This motherfucker replies, okay. Not
what do you
yes,
think that means?
Not no.
That meant yes, dumbass.
No. I said yay or nay. And you could have messaged back the letter Y. You could have messaged back the letter N. You could have messaged. You sit there and you say, "Okay,
bitch, we've been together long enough.
So
you know Tino's speed.
Hold on. No. You don't get away this easy on this bullshit. I sit there and I go,
"Is that a yes?
Is that a yes?" And you go, "Bitch, are you drunk?"
I go, "Are you drunk?" "Yes, bitch."
And by the way, yes. I was not. I was not. And I was. What's that?
Yet.
Well,
you did.
I wasn't actually drunk until you got over to the house and I had a shot or two after we started.
Or you chugged it up the damn.
What's that?
Chugged it out a bottle.
I did not do that. I poured us both drinks.
You poured me out the other one. I didn't drink out the one out you were drinking out of.
Listen to him, folks. He sounds like he's hammered right now.
Oh, no. Now I went from being a heel. Now I'm fucking punchy because I'm tired and I got the giggles now. But
my point to everything is that if someone sits there and goes, "Hey, are we watching the pay-per-view?" And I said, I will be home at 7:30. Are we doing it? Yay or nay? And you say,
at that point,
okay.
At that point, when you text me, I was on the shitter, so I couldn't text you back. Then I forgot about it.
That's where the shitter comes in. Tino waited because he was on the shitter. So I guess for 3 hours, Tino was on the shitter.
3 hours. I said once I got done, I forgot because I must have shit my brains out. I forgot to text you back.
But it's one of those things where, like, if Tino had shown up at my house at 7:30 by saying okay, and I hadn't asked that one other question, I might not have been there. Like and the reason why is because okay is not a yes or a no.
I got a key.
and to Tino's credit, Tino could have absolutely gotten into the house with no problems whatsoever.
And then I'll text you, "Where you at, bitch?"
He would have done that too. And the other thing that would have happened there, however, would have been Tino sitting there going, How do I get your computer to let me do this?
Or I'd just been like, fuck it, and just went on Amazon. I didn't realize I would have messed you up with Shorty, but we're watching it. You gotta get with Shorty, figure out how to fix it. But we're watching it
now. So, and we'll get into that. Tino, is there anything else that happened with you this week? You, the family, anybody like Nicole, anybody?
Nah, Nicole, everybody's good. Nicole is good. She just got back from drum lesson a little bit ago. Um, Matthew's good. We went to a restaurant Friday. Nicole's been trying to get me to go over here in Beaver Creek. It's a Mexican restaurant, and it's called Mamacita's. It's cool, but the cool thought about it is they bring your food comes out on a robot.
What?
It's like, it's like a tall kind of robot, and it's got a different level so they can put the plates. I mean, the person walks out with it, but the food, the food comes out on a robot, and they come in and you hand you your plate. This is cool, and it makes a little music and has a little smiley face and makes little faces at you. It's kind of cool.
Okay, so at least an employee still comes out with
Yeah,
it,
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
but they're probably getting paid. They're probably getting paid $2.13 an hour
Yeah,
because
they
the
come in.
robot is doing all the work.
Yeah, they put it on the robot. The robot comes up, they file out, then they hand you your food. It's still cool.
I'm okay with that as long as there's still a person involved.
Oh yeah.
So Tino, when it comes to what's up with me, just so you
What's
know,
up with you? What's up with you?
this Saturday,
Sunday. Oh, Saturday.
Saturday,
Saturday.
I will be in Florence, South Carolina, or as you know, South Carolina. I will be.
It's not the same. It's not the
It's
same.
not the same. Well, I'm not the dapper yapper. I can't do it.
But you can't say South. It's got to be North Carolina.
So I will be in South Carolina, in Florence, South Carolina, for Power Comic Con. By the way, my first time at Power Comic Con.
I've never even heard of Power Comic Con.
It's in Florence, South Carolina. It's basically run by the people that run Power Comics, and they run this show every year, twice a year. By the way,
Nice.
I think there's this one this weekend, and then there's one in either August or September. But they invited me. I'm going to be at this show. I'm pretty excited. I'm going into town on Friday night. Probably going to try to take in a little bit of the nightlife. Enjoy Saturday at the show, and then either drive home Saturday, or there's the possibility I'm going to talk to my buddy Andy, who lives in Fayetteville, and drive halfway back home and do a signing at a music venue on Saturday night after I did the whole Comic-Con, and then come back Sunday. Not sure how I'm going to feel about it, so I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet, but like I'm trying to like get myself like jacked up for it, like, because then no matter what, I'll be ready to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on top of that, like, got that show going on this week. I told myself I'm gonna start getting some comics like ready to really be ready to go. And I started talking about a brand new concept. I can't even talk about it because like I don't have an artist attached to it or anything. So I got one super serious new idea like ready to go.
Is it the one that we were talking about? That what happens after kids grow up? That one?
No.
Oh, you got a new one I hadn't heard about yet. Oh.
So I got a couple. So Stonkard, for example, the pro wrestler that gets sucked up into space kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which the whole first issue is done. It's ready to come out. It's ready to go. I wrote the entire plot for the second issue this weekend. Almost a year after I had we had gotten the issue completed. I was like, damn it, I need to finish this. So I started writing it again. So I wrote the entire second issue. I love it. I like the way it's going. I have to dialogue it, but I want to see the artwork before I do that.
Right.
But it's solid. I really like where it's going. I got about half the issue, and it might even be the whole thing. I didn't actually count the pages or whatever, but the entirety maybe of a book that myself and my buddy Daryl Murphy are doing together. And he had come to me and he said, "Hey, I want to work on this book." And I was like, "Okay, but hey, I got an idea that's like the prequel to that. Do you just want to do the one that like is already like that main story, or do you want to do the prequel?" And he's like, "Well, what's the prequel about?" So I told him about it, and he goes, "Oh, fuck the other story. I want to do the prequel.
Oh,
I
now
want to do
I
that one."
now I gotta know.
Well, if you actually look at my Facebook page, Rob Potchak, if you look at my Facebook page, I posted 2 pages of like black and white artwork from it because I think I'm coloring the artwork for this series.
Okay.
It's a slow moving, like slow to get to where it is in terms of like how long it's taking him to do the artwork because he's busy with other stuff.
Mm.
But he's almost done with the first issue, and I got to be honest with you. Oh my god, Tino got like fuzzy all of a sudden. He was like,
No, Nicole, because I got my earbud in, so she didn't realize I was on the podcast.
so, but it's probably the deepest story I've written, and it's going to take 3 issues to actually get there to give everybody everything about it. But I'm the artwork from what I've seen from Daryl, some of the best work he's done.
Oh wow.
It's different than anything I've written before. And I'm excited about it. I really am. Like I like at some point I'd love to ask Daryl to be on the show so he can talk about it because it's not like anything I've ever written. So and right now I haven't even written the dialogue for it. Like I got to write the dialogue, but I've written some of the dialogue so that way he knew how much emotion needed to be put into the panels and pages.
Mm.
And I'm hoping it hits people the right way. So it's not something that like there's going to be a lot of cool superhero action, which is great, but then there's also
Okay.
going to be like those soft, quiet moments that might get the tears out of the eyes. You know what I mean?
Oh god.
And Tino, I've never really written much like that.
You started to.
With Zor.
It was Zor, but it was another one. It was another prequel to a superhero and what happens when that superhero it gets sick. Remember that one? I don't want to say it just in case.
That might be this story. That might be this story. The only other story right now that's actually been published that I feel should be able to get any of those emotions was the very last Junior High Horrors book that we did, because Nancy in the last Junior High Horrors book sits there and actually like tells Frederick, you know, the cat, because he comes alive in the Upside Down, or what I call the Down Under, comes alive in the Down Under, and she sits there and says, "It's okay. I know you need to be the protector of this area." And when that happens, it like, to me, was like the end of Junior High Horrors, because
Oh,
it really was one of those moments where it's like, wow, it's sad to see him go and see the two characters break up, and and it really, like, emotionally it hit me. And I don't know if I'm just being silly or whatever, but for everyone else, like that's what it was. Or at least, like I said, for me, that's what it was. But yeah, I've got Power Comic Con coming up this weekend. Excited about it. It's my first Comic Con of the year. After this, I think I'd go like the entire month of April without anything, unless anybody is out there watching and says, we want you to come to our Comic Con. I'm available. I'm willing to do it. You know, like I keep trying to tell people this. I wish I had an agent sitting there doing the same thing, because the agent would be like, hey, 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 hey. I'm not doing that because I'm not that kind of asshole. But, you know, like if I had an agent, they'd be that kind of asshole sitting there trying to get me in.
Why don't you have an agent?
I don't know. I don't think I'm big enough. And I think that's what it is. Like I've talked to
you got to start somewhere. I'm sure somebody would.
Well, I've talked to 2 or 3 agents. I think what it takes is getting like a Marvel, DC, or Image book, and as soon as you do, then all of a sudden someone will be like, "Hey, do you have an agent?" And I think that's silly, because I have more work out there than a bunch of these people. But anyway, it is what it is.
Once you get somebody to act as your agent and look for these things, you know what I mean?
I'm willing to do that. Like if anybody wants to be my agent and sit there and like try to get me gigs and try to get me other stuff, totally down for it. It's not the way it works though. Someone's got to come to you and be like, "Hey, I'm an existing agent. These are my clients. This is how I get people, you know, gigs." And
I guess it's not as big as, but like with even my bands, I just got, I had a person like, she acted as my manager. She went to the bars and she did all the negotiations and she did all that, and I just showed up. We just showed up, plugged in to play. And, she was in charge. She did all the legwork, I guess I should say. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's just it. Like I've asked agents, and they're like, "Well, let us know when like you're big enough to where we can make real money off of you." And that's what I don't like. Like I get it. They want to make money. So it's something where like the couple that I've talked about have been, "Hey, if you can make me $100, then yeah, I'll sit there and I'll, promote you the same way that I promote everybody else, because I'm going to make $100 off of you." What they don't realize is until they actually get me out there, making $100 isn't going to happen because I'm not there. But I get it, when they can represent, let's say, for example, a former editor-in-chief of Marvel. So a guy that ran the entire Marvel comics for 3 months is going to have more pull than I do.
I guess
that's just what it is. So I don't argue it, because right now I don't have to pay them. But at the same time, it would be nice to have any of them sit there and say, "We want Potsy." But I'd also like the Comic Cons to sit there and know who I am and sit there and go, "We'd want Potsy." And we're not there as well, which irritates me because I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. And I've been to some of the biggest shows in the country. And it's something where, like, you would think that at some point somebody's going to sit there and go, "Damn, that dude is at the biggest shows. We want him at our shows." And that hasn't happened. And I don't know why. Just is what it is. It's okay though. I'm gonna keep doing me. At some point, I'm gonna get a movie deal or a cartoon, Zor or one of these other projects. And when that happens, everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, who's representing you? What do you?" And I'm gonna be like, that's what I'm gonna do at that point, because I'm gonna be like, "I begged you to take me. You said no. Now, beg me, beg me." And I'm kidding, because I don't know if any of my stuff's ever gonna get picked up to be a movie. I know some stuff should be. I know some stuff truly has the ability to be amazing on film, in CGI, whatever the case might be. But we'll see.
Oh, yeah, you got look at the chat. You got Michael. Michael could be your agent. Read the chat.
We going to Hollywood, baby?
No, keep going in.
I was in Raleigh on Saturday and telling people about you. Michael, you know that I love you, brother. You know that I do. Tino, I do want to say one other thing, and then we can jump into pro wrestling. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, one more thing, and then we can jump into what we're watching on TV.
Okay.
Die Hard #2 in stores Wednesday.
Okay. Wow.
So after all the hoopla and garbage and everything preventing the second issue of one of my favorite books I've ever written, we're in stores Wednesday. And for anybody that's wondering, we went to the printer with #3 already. So what this means is that while we might have missed our ship date with #2, not my fault. I sent everything in on time. #3, the final issue, is still at the printer, and as long as the printer does everything they're supposed to, will be out on time before Easter. And I think that's important to say, because it's such a fun fucking book. All right. There. Now that I hit all that. Tino? I keep grabbing my mouse, and my mouse is basically going, we're not working. So, weekly TV watching. What are you watching now?
So I still got I think I got like a tracker I got to catch up on. I didn't get to watch Watson last night. Because I was with you, dumbass. I didn't get to watch
I watched it
Watson
this morning.
Tracker.
It's
good.
really
And so I need to check that. I can't watch it without Cole. That's like one of our shows that we watch together.
Because of Morris Chestnut.
No, she actually likes the show. She thinks it's a good.
She likes Morris Chestnut. Just admit it.
She really doesn't. I asked her. She's like, yeah, he doesn't do it for her. So I asked her. I'm like, because I'll ask her. I'm like, you think he's still good looking? She's like, eh.
I mean, he's a good looking dude.
He is, but I mean, she's more like she's a Shamar Moore. She liked The Rock back before he looked like an alien. She's so. Love you, Dwayne. What's my other show? He'll beat my ass. I don't even know why I want to piss him off. He's the final boss will beat my ass.
I noticed that NBC seemed to go to another like a shift where we're not actually showing new shows, because I noticed Found and Irrational had no new episodes this week.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm caught up on those.
I was a little irritated about the fact that they didn't tell me they're not doing episodes.
yeah, I don't know what they're doing. The show that I did want to talk, well, I watched a movie. I watched the um Marvel movie. That's why I want to mention it here.
New World,
The new, huh?
Brave New World.
I watched that, but that's not the one. It was out there. Venom, The Last Dance. I watched Venom, Last Dance, and it was okay for what it was. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. Um,
Did
but
it
the show,
feel like The Last Dance?
no, because there was still that much of the symbiote left. I mean, The Last Dance, there's been no more symbiote. So you got something you can come back. And the Doctor. Well, I don't want to ruin it in case nobody's seen it.
Well, not even the Doctor, but at the end of all of it, Football is Life showed up again.
Yeah, yeah. So they'll probably have another one coming out. But most importantly, what I watched, and I'm pissed because it only has 2 episodes out so far. And I know we talked about it yesterday
We
or
can
last night.
talk about this.
Well, some people might not have seen it, and
So how not spoilery do you want to get? Because I know what you're talking about.
Daredevil. That show. Well, I mean,
All right, you want me to break some stuff down for you on this
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how
without
to not.
spoiling anything, by the way.
Okay, we'll try it. Yeah.
All right. So the show, by the way, was announced in 2020. We're in 2025.
And it's a continuation of the show that was on Netflix.
It is. However, today I watched I watched 2 IGN interviews where it was Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, so Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and Kingpin, as well as 2 of the producers / directors of the episodes.
Before you get it, can I say something I found interesting before you get to that, because I don't want to forget. Fisk, the kid that's helping him out on the campaign. You know who that is? You know who his dad is?
Do
Sopranos.
you want to ask me? Do you want me to? Do you not think I know that it's Tony Soprano?
It's his son.
Yeah,
and it's his son that was with him when he died. I thought that because I went back and looked, because I remember watching, because I used to watch the autopsy shows, and they did a lot of the celebrities. You know what I'm talking about? And they were saying how when he died, he was with his 14-year-old son. Well, that 14-year-old son grew up to be an actor and is now on Daredevil. I just thought that was,
and
he looks like him.
From what I've heard, he's also planning to be the Tony Soprano in the prequel Soprano series, if it ever comes to light. So yes,
like his dad, dude.
Are you surprised? Are you shocked? No, I knew.
No, you probably, yeah.
At the same time, so the show had already filmed like 9 episodes.
The Daredevil
and got shown to Marvel head Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige sat there and said, "What is this garbage?" And said, "We need to go back to the baseline." And here's what I mean by this is that Vincent D'Onofrio kind of enlightened people a little bit during this IGN interview and said, we were basically told that only Charlie and I were being brought back for the show. So no Foggy, no Karen, no Punisher, nobody. And
Deadshot too. Well, not Deadshot. What's the dude's name? The
Bullseye. But let's hold that off for a second. So the whole idea there, though, was that originally it was going to be a brand new, like maybe he's even starting in a new city and all this other shit and whatever.
No.
And Feige saw it and said, "What is this garbage?" And brought in, specifically, he brought in the same stunt coordinator that was on the first 3 seasons of Daredevil from Netflix. right? So what that means is that all of the action scenes for the entire season were going to be run by this guy. They call him the second unit director, by the way. I don't know if you've ever actually like learned the terminology of like first unit, second unit, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the dramatic scenes, all that stuff are run by the standard showrunners and directors. But then all the action scenes are run by the second unit directors. So they brought in the same second unit director that had done the 3 seasons of Daredevil. On top of that, the new showrunners sat there and said, okay, Kevin Feige didn't like this. He wants something that's going to tie it into the Netflix series. And again, I'm not doing anything to spoiler alert or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do that, and there's 2 of them, they're really good. They ran Moon Knight. They did a couple episodes of Hawkeye, a couple, other stuff. But they got brought in. They're doing Daredevil, and they get the approval from the guy that played Foggy, the girl that played Karen, Deborah Ann Wall. They got the Punisher back, saying that he would actually do it now because the Punisher really did not like. So John Bernthal did not like how they were using the character, right? So they bring in these guys that are like, we understand, we get it. Let's give you guys like the roles and the determination of what your characters do and make that fit this story. And they brought them all in and they brought them all back and they got everybody to say yes. And then we see the first 2 episodes. And without giving anything away, the first 10 minutes of episode 1 is going to have you sitting there going, I can't believe you did that. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say about it. Except, since we saw the commercials and we saw Matt Murdock and Kingpin talking to each other.
Excuse me.
That sequence where the 2 of them actually like sit down and talk to each other starts as like 2 old friends that haven't seen each other in 20 years.
He said something like, "It's not as unpleasant as I thought it was. It was not too unpleasant to see you again." Too. It was.
I'm going to admit, it's a lot less unpleasant seeing you than I thought it would be.
That was funny.
And then that conversation starts heating up, even though neither one of them are the men that they were.
I forgot that Kingpin knew who he was. I forgot about that.
But I thought it was so folks, there is a sequence where you see Matt Murdock with his stick sitting there like as the blind man, and there's security officers keeping Kingpin away from him, and Kingpin sits there and goes, "We'll be okay." And then they walk into the little diner and they have breakfast together. And the entire time you're sitting there going, is this going to escalate? And it doesn't. And the way my feelings are, Tino, and this has nothing to do with what we saw or anything else, but my feelings on this are, we are now not going to see these 2 characters interact with each other until maybe, okay, so it's 9 episodes. We're not going to see them interact with each other until maybe episode. You're saying 7? I agree. What the hell was that? Do that again.
I don't know what I did.
I thought you were having a party at the house.
It has a mind of its own. I don't know. All I did was held up 7.
Oh, there we go. Balloons. No,
yeah, episode 7.
Like, we have 9 episodes. I kind of assume it's going to be episode 7. I did, however, me personally, I did watch Tracker. I did watch Watson. I'm also caught up on Reacher and Invincible.
Mm.
And I keep saying this, and I want people to understand. Reacher season 2 is hot shit garbage. But Reacher season 3 is like, hey.
Yeah, you said that last night we were talking.
Sure, but I'm letting everybody else know. Reacher season 2, 5 episodes in, and I'm sitting there going, we got 3 episodes to go. I'm ready. Hit me, baby. Hit me. Hit me. I'm trying to think of what other shows that I've actually watched. Cobra Kai ended. Cobra Kai was friggin' phenomenal. I don't know if we got to say that.
Helios is in. He said the Neighborhood Spider-Man, that new cartoon, is good, and I agree. I watched it.
Neighborhood Spider-Man is
Good.
incredible.
It is awesome.
I didn't think I was going to be blown away by it. There are a couple inconsistencies with it, only because it's one of those, hey, we're going to do the Terminator time loop.
Yeah, I was confused about that. So they kind of looped back to the first episode, and this is why this happened. I'm like, wait a minute, what? It was good. I wasn't mad at it. I just wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm. The biggest problem I had with that show had nothing to do with the diversity, inclusion, all that shit, which, by the way, a lot of people are complaining about.
Really?
My biggest problem with that entire show, actually, I have 2 problems with it. The one of them is just because of the times that we're doing it. The other one, and the main one is this, is that I watched that entire cartoon and I was like, I'm supposed to believe that Norman Osborn helped Spider-Man become who he is, which is okay. I'm also supposed to believe that somehow they've taken a bunch of the stuff from the actual MCU. You haven't seen it, have you?
What?
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I said I was going. Yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
Okay. So you know that they took a bunch of the stuff from the actual MCU, and then they were like, yeah, but Norman Osborn was actually part of it rather than not being part of it.
Yeah. And Harry knows his identity too. I'm like, eh.
Well, but the whole idea that, like, the Tom Holland Spider-Man has no idea who Norman Osborn is.
Right.
So when he sees Norman Osborn showing up in the 3rd movie, he's like, I don't know who that dude is, but he probably needs help. Cool. The second biggest problem is
I don't like the spider thing.
Well, that's the
radioactive
time loop. That's the time loop. Which I'm okay with. And my biggest problem, you ready for my biggest problem?
Mm-hmm.
Animated series when you and I were growing up, Tino. 1992, let's use that as an example. 1992. Batman the Animated Series. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How many episodes did they launch with?
There's a shitload. It was like one. It was
65.
I forgot about that.
65 episodes. You know why? Because back then, an animated series would run 5 days a week.
Yeah.
After school at like 4:00 in the afternoon. And then the second season would still be like 22 more episodes.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, I can't wait to see the new ones. And then shortly after seeing the new ones, they would go back into reruns.
Yeah.
My problem with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, because, by the way, Charlie Cox played the voice of Daredevil in it, which was amazing. The guy that played Spider-Man sounded a little bit like Tom Holland, not quite, but enough. The guy that played Iron Man really did actually sound like Robert Downey Jr., and I'm down with that. But my problem is that I watch this show and I go, it's over. What do I do now? Like
They got to come back with
like
another season.
how does Disney Plus not sit there and go, hey, if we actually put enough money, because it wasn't a massively like crazy design animated series.
Mm-mm.
It was a pretty simple animation, right?
Yep.
How do they not sit there and go, let's go ahead and do 35 episodes? And I think it's bullshit that they didn't. Like, and I'm not even saying 65 episodes like they used to. I'm saying half that.
Yeah.
How do they not do that? It annoys the piss out of me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm done with that. I know that you really don't have a statement on it, but
Yeah.
that literally is how I feel about it. Considering when I actually bought the original series DVD for Transformers Generation 1 Season 1, it was like 86 episodes.
Mm.
That's all I'm saying. I don't remember the exact number, but that's what it felt like. But I know you want to go ahead and jump into.
Yeah, because we're just about an hour in almost.
So what do you want to talk about first?
What are you going to talk about?
I mean, should we talk about WWE, or should we talk about what's fresh in our minds first?
Yeah, fresh in our minds.
Then I know what you want to talk about. You ready?
Mm.
Oh, for some reason I have something that says Grand Slam, but that's not what we're talking about. Let's talk about the very first match of the night.
Dude, this match, first of all, can we talk about, because you talked about it the whole match. I don't think we were able to concentrate on the match because you were fascinated with Hangman's hair. Because you were in the kitchen.
First, by the way.
No, you were in the kitchen. And all I said was, Hangman got a haircut. You go, oh, okay. And you came out and you're like, that haircut's terrible.
Go ahead.
And then I said, he let his son do it. He said, I want a haircut like daddy.
You said he let his son do it?
Yeah. But that match. Oh, the one spot I do want to talk about is, and I said it when we watched it, I never, in all my years watching wrestling, seen a spot like this where they were outside of the ring, they had that chair, and he jumped up. MJF jumped up with Hangman almost like a power driver. He jumped up on his knees from the floor to the chair and power drove him on the chair. I'm like, that's new. It was hard hitting.
The move has been done before, but on the spotlight that it was done last night, I don't think it's ever been done at that big of a level by those big of stars. It was shocking.
And was that the match where because so much happened last night. Was that the match where he tried to do he did the thing on the table and the table didn't break? I was like, oh my God. And you're like, yeah, that table's reinforced like the WWE.
Yes. I think it was that match. It was either that or it was Kenny versus Shit Taker. But it the match itself was pretty. I mean, it was pretty solid. I posted some comments on Facebook about every single match because there was like 9 matches on this card. The first thing I want to say is I think that AEW needs to really rethink its pay-per-view strategy and try to keep the pay-per-views to 4 hours total. Maybe half an hour of pre-show and then 4 hours. The idea of doing a 7-hour pay-per-view 6 times to 8 times a year is exhausting. This match, go ahead.
There was one spot in this match, and when the spot happened, we thought he was dead. And I think it's the first time I made you pop there tonight, is when Hangman hit the angel wings.
You didn't even think he was dead. I sat there and said, I think he broke his nose.
And then I said, broke nose Jones, and you lost.
And then I lost my shit. He's not wrong, folks. When he sat there and gave the line that Taz should have, and Taz did not.
Nope.
I lost
nose Jones.
He said broke nose Jones, but Tino didn't even see it and had to wait for the replay to even say that.
His
nose.
I don't know if that was an accident. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's if he meant to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that was a botch. I'm trying to figure out. I don't think he meant him to lay on his face like that.
The match ended almost immediately after that move. Like we got one more move, I felt, after that. But MJF's nose was sitting here like this.
Because remember after the pin, I was even saying, in the comment, he was laying on the chest and you can see him talking. I'm wondering if he was asking MJF if you're okay.
Yeah. And you and I were both looking at it and we were like that
didn't look right.
That didn't look right. Like the end of the match felt like it let's clean this up. Let's get it done. Which is funny because both of those guys, former AEW World Champions, opening the show. I didn't expect
that's a banger. That's a banger.
Oh, it absolutely was a banger. It absolutely was a banger. I'm giving us just a random Revolution tagline so we can talk about the matches that I did not put on here. Do you have the next? You have everything pulled up?
The next one was the TBS chant, and it was Mercedes Moné against Momo Wannabe. That means you have to say it time you pop. I said Momo Wannabe. If you want to be my lover.
So I am going to admit, Tino sat there because he's like, oh, it's Mercedes Moné versus Momo Wannabe, and I looked at him, and he had this shit-eating grin on his face, and I looked at him, and I couldn't stop laughing because I knew there was no fucking chance in hell of Momo Watanabe beating Mercedes. And I am tired. Tino, you and I talk about this almost on a weekly basis. I am tired.
I don't see the fixation and the fascination. I don't understand.
Like this would have been the perfect time to have some sort of outside interference to cause one or the other to win.
They dropped the ball when they didn't let Harley get it. Because who else are they pushing? They're not pushing anybody else for that.
Well, I told you exactly what it was. What did I tell you? Do you
They're trying to
remember?
write off her name. No,
I
that's
said
not.
I said that TBS championship, they let someone run 70 matches in a row without a loss.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did say, you said that they're going to try to have her beat Jade Cargill's record. Yeah,
And
and
the
probably
unfortunate truth to it, folks, is
there's a
that
difference in Jade and a difference in Mercedes. There's two different people. I believe Jade could go that long. You know what I'm saying? Jade's believable. Mercedes,
well, the truth is that I think Mercedes is the better wrestler. I just think that when you're talking power wrestler versus mid-level talent, which is what the TBS championship is supposed to be, Jade Cargill should be able to win 70 matches in a row. Whereas Mercedes, you put her up against Chris Statlander, who sits there and goes through 19 different fucking finishers.
yes.
How do we not have a different champion?
Thank you. Next, we have Swerve.
Well, sorry. Nobody believed Momo not going to win it had a chance of winning.
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Swerve and Ricochet. This match was not only for Prince Nana's robe, it was also for the number one contendership to face whoever the champion is at the time. You cracked me up because soon as because they came out, Nana came out in the white. He's like, Nana's gonna bleed. And then he got a close up of his suit. He's like, maybe not, because he's wearing that bedazzled white suit. This match was hard hitting. There was a one point when they fought to the outside, and Swerve was. What are you laughing at?
It's now hitting me what you just said, and now I'm laughing. Like, seriously,
Which part?
The whole like Nana gonna bleed, which is what I said, and then all of a sudden like oh no, he's in a bedazzled outfit. Oh, maybe not, and I'm just like,
it was white bedazzled. They're not gonna mess up a bedazzled suit, but it was a hard hitting match. When they got to the outside of the ring, Swerve was beaten. He was dog walking Ricochet, and the referee was trying to pull him off. Swerve pushed the referee away. Nana came up. Swerve, I guess thinking it was still the referee, pushed Nana to the ground. Nana got pissed and walked away. Before the match even started, you said you thought that Nana might turn. And I'm like, nah. And then when he pushed him and he left, I'm like, maybe.
I want you to continue.
Oh yeah, so he pushed her, and Nana left, and then he came back down and snatched the robe, and I think that's what caught Ricochet's attention in order, because for a while there he had started getting the upper hand on Swerve, and Nana got the robe that distracted enough for Swerve to come back get the
victory.
upper hand.
Here's my problem with this is that so for those that didn't watch, spoiler alert, Swerve won. And it's still, even after the match ended, they had this weird feel like you expected like Nana to turn on him. Am I wrong? Because
No.
I really felt like there was still like the way that Swerve went out, he gave Nana the robe, Nana started coming back in, and Swerve went and I even said to you, Tino, I was like, oh, Swerve's gonna drop to one knee.
No, you said if I was writing this, you said I would have Swerve drop to one knee and present him the robe. So what you said.
And what did he do?
He did that. I didn't, but you forgot the one important thing. Move that I wanted to call, a spot that I wanted to call.
Oh, please.
That damn 630 that he did off the top rope. that Ricochet right now, I don't. We talked about is he believable as a heel, and I'm not quite sold on Ricochet as a heel yet when he's still doing face moves. Well, not face moves, but moves that the crowd are going to be like, "Oh shit!" Right? They're still going
No,
to
no, no.
appreciate it.
You nailed it. It's still a face move. And you know what? We haven't even gone into WWE programming or anything. But the fact is that like when John Cena was on Chris Van Vliet like a year ago talking about when they actually considered turning him heel, he flat out said, I have to stop doing everything that people love about me or
Mhm.
expect from me. And I have to do different things if I'm a bad guy. In this, Ricochet is still doing Ricochet moves.
Yes.
And for Ricochet to be seriously taken or taken seriously as a heel, he's going to have to stop doing what makes him Ricochet. And I'm not saying it stops him from being Ricochet, because there are moments at the end of a match after he's beaten him down with a steel chair where he can do that 630 and be like,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. But you have to sit there and you have to go, I'm going to start taking out all the other high flyers' knees. I'm going to stop them from being fast. I'm going to
Hmm.
stop them from doing this. I'm going to, and
Hmm.
you literally have to be the anti high flyer and still be the high flyer. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And that's what you were meaning, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, he's still Ricochet from WWE. You know what I mean?
He
I don't see
and
a
and
difference.
to your point, sorry for interrupting. To your point, it's because AEW wrestlers are still going after the hug. They're still
Hmm.
chasing the hug. Whether they're babyface or heel, they're chasing the hug.
Yeah.
Is that the right way to say it?
I think so. Yeah. They're still looking for that. That even though you're heel, you're trying to be that cool heel. You're trying to still get a pop, trying to get the fans behind you.
Yeah,
And,
like everybody
and
wants to be the NWO.
but I like what you said earlier about what Cena said. If you're gonna be a heel, you need to go full on heel.
I think the reason why we haven't gotten John Cena on WWE programming in a week, and obviously we're filming this during a Monday night, so we don't know if he's showing up tonight. But I only
Madison
expect
Square
him.
Garden.
I expect him showing up next week. Though this is Madison Square Garden, he could show up. Based on everything that even like what he said and everything else, you have to make everybody hate you.
Mhm.
And the
Don't be
easiest way to
surprised if
make
he doesn't.
people hate you is by doing the opposite of what makes them love you. It it's stupid, but it's stupid smart.
Simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
There you go. Kiss. Uh
Brody King and Okada.
so this was a match I did not actually put on our little like group of things. You were more into this match than I was.
Because I thought that Brody King was going to win this match. I thought for sure, man. They've been pushing ever since Aleister Black or Malachi, whatever they're calling him. Is it
Malachi.
Aleister?
Malachi.
Malachi Black. Whatever. They're pushing Brody and Buddy as like the Hounds of Hell, and they're pushing, you know, the girl as well. But
Julia Hart.
they're
By the
pushing
way,
Julia Hart.
Julia Hart's the only one getting wins. So
Yeah.
let's keep
So
that
so
what it is.
Okada beat Buddy. So I'm like, there's no way they're gonna let him beat, and Okada's had his run with that belt. Who are they saving it for? You know what I mean? Who are they saving to take it off of?
Well, what did I say to you? Do you remember?
No, no, we talked about so much. I don't.
Well, first of all, I talked about how good that pork was that I created that I
Oh
made.
yeah, that was good. That's probably why I was shitting again today. Thank you.
Well, I wasn't, so I doubt it. But so for those that don't know, I created this really good like pork with Tostitos cheese and
Barbecue sauce,
sugar-free
sugar-free barbecue.
sauce.
Yep. Oh, it was good.
And it was phenomenal, by the way. Like AJ Styles was like this with it. So but no. So talking about this match, I flat out said to you, I was like, there's no way Brody King's beating Okada. And you're like, but like it would make sense. And I said, he's not Aleister Black. He's not Malachi Black. He like if it was Malachi Black would probably win this. But Brody King right now, unfortunately, is just going to be cannon fodder for what's going on here. And that's and you saw it with Buddy Matthews, and now you've seen it with Brody King. The only one that Tony Khan really sees as truly marketable, and he's not, I don't want to say he's right, but he's not wrong right now, is Julia Hart. Julia Hart is the best piece of those three. And she's been a champion. And he's even started giving her wins again. But, like, the idea of keeping them all together is hurting them, if I had to guess, based on the fact that their leader isn't there anymore. You know?
So Okada beat King.
Correct.
All right. The Hurt Syndicate and the Outrunners.
Oh, I didn't even put this on the thing. I forgot about this match. I want your opinion. I want you to talk first.
I kind of was not much to say. I understand why they kept it on the Hurt Syndicate because they've probably got some bigger plan, but I don't think it would have hurt them to drop the belt to the Outlanders. I think the Outlanders should have won this match.
So what did I tell you before this match actually happened? I said that the Outrunners should have won these tag team titles and then lost them to the Hurt Syndicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why was because it would have propelled the Outrunners and then propelled the Hurt Syndicate. It would have helped both.
I don't think they need to. I don't think that the Hurt Syndicate needs to be propelled when they're coming out. People are singing their song. We hurt people. They're already over.
To your point, because you can see me sitting here going like this.
Yeah.
To your point, I 100% agree. However, we all want to sit there and talk nice about the Outrunners. But them walking into this match already with 2 feet in the ground They got no chance. And if they had walked in as the champions, because here's the deal, they put on a hell of a match.
Oh, hell yeah.
I
They're awesome.
enjoyed every goddamn second. I'm not even lying. Folks, for anybody that sits there and says that I dog AEW, this match was awesome. I enjoyed every second of it. Tino and I joked about the blonde hair and the Hogan skullets and everything else constantly, but
And he hulked up.
The you son of a bitch
Bitch.
and
I love
everything
that.
else, by the way, took way too long. Otherwise, we sat there and we were like, this is pro wrestling. Except for the fact that Tony Khan, in his stupidity, sat there and said, we're going to give the We Hurt People, Hurt Syndicate, the titles ahead of time, instead of, by the way, going to go ahead and flat out say it, when it comes to the team that had the titles when the Hurt Syndicate won, that the Outriders could have beaten that same team. So what was her name?
Outrunner?
Private Party?
Yeah.
Private
Yeah,
Party
Private Party.
lost to the Hurt Syndicate. They could have lost those titles to the Outrunners.
Yeah.
And all it would have done is let the Hurt Syndicate beat them.
Yeah.
That's all it would have done. Instead, we got the Hurt Syndicate burning all of the heat out of the Outrunners. It's like, hey, great job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're just to you. You're done. Why were you even here? By the way, that's a problem that I had with this entire pay-per-view. MJF losing his match to Hangman Page. Like, the way that he lost made him look like a bitch.
It doesn't hurt him. It don't hurt that long. It doesn't hurt. MJF is so overdone. He can take it. It's
MJF,
not
it
gonna hurt
doesn't
him.
hurt as much as some of the others.
He's bulletproof.
But Momo's done.
Yeah, I mean, but she wasn't. I don't think she signed anyway. I think they were
Right.
just using that. I think they were just using that, like you said, to probably put him to win.
Ricochet losing, done. Like he literally,
but he's been up. He's been up. He's gone up over. He's gotten one over on Swerve. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He took 3
He
steps
needed-
back by losing that match.
Yeah. They can always pull him back up.
Who's next?
Oh, my favorite match. Well, yeah, probably my favorite match of the night. Mariah and Tony.
So, where is it? Why don't I have? Oh, there it is. There it is.
Tony gigged herself, and I don't think she meant to gig herself that deep, and I thought she about passed out.
She what?
She gigged herself too deep.
Oh,
Remember when she was bleeding, and the whole time she's like,
I understand what you mean now. Okay.
I think she lost too much blood and about to pass herself out.
So, I want to tell you what was the most surprising part of this match, and unfortunately to me, had nothing to do with the match.
What was it?
Well, I told you this yesterday, and you actually looked at me and said, yeah, I guess you're right. This was the first time that Tony Cucking Khan sat there and actually put the women's world title match after the garbage TBS title match on a pay-per-view. Since Mercedes Moné has had the Cup title.
Yeah.
And I am ecstatic to hear that. However, I said to you as this match was happening, and after we get done watching this match, which, by the way, should get the Dave Meltzer 2-star bonus. I don't care if it's the Ospreay bonus or the Kenny Omega bonus. It should get the kicker from either of them for being the best match of the fucking year so far. At the same time, why was this like the fourth match of the fucking night?
I don't know. I think they're trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? It'll bring you up, bring you down, bring you back up. Because after this match, let me see, get the banger. A banger. And all right, so the glass spot where she dumped the bag, it's just glass everywhere, and they start taping their fist and put their hands on. I'm like, are they serious? And you're like, it's got to be sugar glass. I'm like, well, I hope the hell so, because oh my god, she caught her, and that's what sliced her. I mean, this match, man, it reminded me of the damn Lights Out Thunder Rosa. It was more violent than that, the Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker match.
It was 100% more violent than it. It was the most violent match of the entire night, by the way. Like, hands down. There was nothing.
That match and the cage match, they had to change that.
This was the most violent match because it wasn't hampered to being inside the cage. They had moves outside near the stage area and everything else. This was
Storm Zero on the stage. God.
Yeah. I want to hear more of your opinion of it because I'm probably going to upset some people.
I told you this is my match of the night. So I mean,
well, no. Okay, so I agree 100% with that.
The violence of it, it's just the sheer. This should have been a lights out match. I like there was false count anywhere at the end of the match where she just kind of just collapsed on her instead of the pin. The whole thing it was masterful. It's one of those, where they told a story. They told a story.
So my biggest problem with it was the winner of the match.
Yeah, I know, you're a big ass baby.
No, but I'm going to explain why. You had a 4-time AEW Women's Champion versus a woman that worked her way all the way up to become a single-time Women's Champion. And Mariah May, now, after losing this match, what's next?
Again, and this is where we go back to the AEW WWE. You have no problems. How many times does fucking Triple H won a match and bury somebody? How Stone Cold, The Rock? It's the same thing. They're multi-time champions too. What's the point of them winning the title?
I argue with all of those buryings of people. Like, I am a huge proponent.
WWE mark.
Well, I am a mark that that's not anything that nobody is gonna. But if something's bad, I still sit there and give them shit. Our show has been on the air, I don't even know how many years at this point, but we went through those last 3 years of the Vince McMahon era where the two of us actually sat there and talked on a weekly basis of wanting to not talk about pro wrestling because of how bad it was. So I'm not like you're not telling me or any of these people anything that I haven't actually said.
But there's nothing wrong with Mariah. Why can't Mariah May be a 4-time champion?
Mariah May.
I mean Tony Storm. I'm sorry.
No. She is a 4-time.
I know. What's your problem? Why? You're like, well, your problem is because she's a 4-time champion, and what's that for Mariah May?
Okay.
I mean,
I'm glad you asked, and I'll tell you right now. You ready?
because Mariah May is hotter than Tony Storm, in your opinion.
She is one of Tony Khan's favorite toys. So she gets premier status right here. Premier status. Like John Moxley, premier status. She gets, and she's the first 4-time champion, even though a Jamie Hayter. Go ahead.
So WWE doesn't have their favorite toys that they use all the time?
Hold
Roman
on.
Reigns.
Hey, if we talk about the programs as if they're equal, then we have to sit there and do that.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're not.
But you're not. That's what I'm trying to say. Is if they do it on WWE, it's okay. But you're like Tony Storm and his favorites. Fucking Triple H and Vince have their favorites too.
Dude, the problem that we have currently with AEW, Ricochet beating Swerve would have been a better story, especially if Nana turned on Swerve. Would have been a better story. Didn't happen. Okay, I buy that. Mercedes Moné sitting there constantly winning her matches. Like, we're all sitting there going, we're tired of it. We want something else. Like, it literally is something where when WWE notices that, like, Braun Strowman beating the two guys every week doesn't work anymore, they do something else.
But Tony Storm still works. The crowd's still behind her. She still gets big pops.
So to your point, I'm gonna answer you here.
Okay.
Tony Storm is still over. She doesn't need a championship. We talk about this all the time with certain people, like Roman Reigns, right? And that's WWE.
But Mariah May's not as over.
Correct. So her having the championship would actually help elevate her. Especially, hold on. Especially beating the person that is the most elevated person in AEW. So
and nobody gives a shit about Mariah May. You see what I'm saying? When I say Mariah May's not over, right? If they put the belt on her, what if it like right now? It's Mercedes Moné. They got the belt on her. She doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? So while I agree somebody should take that belt off of Tony Storm, I don't think Mariah May right now is that person. I'm not saying that Tony Storm doesn't need the belt. I agree with you there. I'm saying Mariah May is not that person.
So my opinion here, and obviously Tony Khan didn't agree, is that the storyline should have allowed Mariah May to win. And again, just like I said with Ricochet getting Nana to join him, since that didn't happen, Luther joining Mariah May could have elevated this story even one more notch. And it didn't. And to my opinion, it's Tony Khan giving his favorite toys his top spots. And he's not going against any of that. And this includes Mercedes Moné, and it includes Tony Storm, and it includes whoever. Swerve Strickland is the only guy that I truly believe has like slapped Tony Khan backstage and been like, bitch, I am more over than everybody else, and you need to recognize it. And he has. And he got to the top. But he still had to give it away to one of the best in terms of Tony Khan's toys, Bryan Danielson. And I love Bryan Danielson, and the work that he put in while he worked for AEW was absolutely fucking phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But the work that Swerve Strickland was putting in earned him the right to be the top guy. And Bryan Danielson saying it's time for me to retire is the only reason why Bryan Danielson ended up beating him when he did. Which, by the way, has led us to the worst possible storyline in AEW. So we can continue. What's next?
Let's finish this up because we're an hour and a half in.
Sorry.
Next match is gonna be the cage match. Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher.
No, sir.
Or did we skip? Oh, Omega and take a shit.
Whoever thought that Kenny Omega was going to be the cooler match?
What do you mean?
The calm down from all that heat from Mariah May and Tony Storm. We're then going to sit there and go, hey, if you want to get up and go to the bathroom, Kenny Omega's up.
You didn't like that match?
Why didn't say that?
So why do you say it's cool?
I said that Tony Khan sat there and said this was going to be the match that you're going to go use the restroom.
Why do you say that though?
Because that's when it happened. What did you think of this match?
Oh yeah, I did get up. Well, yeah, I was in the bathroom when I wanted him to say North Carolina. I was in the bathroom when they were ready. The match. I mean, I knew Omega was going to win the match. It was a matter of time.
At this point, by the way, just so everybody knows, Tino was so mad. He was, and I'm not even kidding. He was furious at the fact that no titles had changed hands. Furious.
Because I thought for sure Brody was going to win.
I knew Brody was going to win.
I knew Kenny was going to win, and I thought that Edge was going to, or Copeland would have a chance, but we'll talk about that too.
But by this point,
I was pissed.
You flat out said, "This damn well better be a championship change because I expected at least 2 championships changing." And you weren't even talking about the last 2 matches. You were talking about this match and before. You wanted to see at least 2 championship matches change hands ahead of time because you wanted to see Mercedes Moné lose.
I did.
And
I knew she wouldn't, but I did.
And here we go. Take a Shitta versus Kenny Omega. What did you think of the match?
It's a Kenny Omega match. I thought that the two of them, they had good chemistry.
Is it a 6-star match? I like how you project music Fourth.
I was thinking 4.5.
That's it. I'm doing it right here.
You've been doing it all the time. You really hadn't been hiding it very well. 4.5, 4.5 stars. I would give it. Maybe 5.
So I got to ask. Meltzer is going to give this a 2-star multiplier
Oh,
for
it's
being
gonna be a
a
10.
Kenny Omega match.
Yep.
So does that mean that it becomes a 6.5-star match? I really want to know what you think, because I want to joke about it on a future episode when we find out what Meltzer actually gives this match.
It was, like I said, it was a good match, but I don't think it was the Osprey, the cage match next was a better match.
So if
Wow.
a top match can typically get 4 stars, like a max out at 4 stars, what is this match? Because it was good.
I give it a 2.53.
Oh wow. I would have given it like a 3.25.
Yeah.
Like it to take a shit up really
Because while it was Kenny Omega, he's still,
getting his
and
feet
I don't
under
know.
him.
Yeah, I don't. It wasn't full Kenny Omega. You know what I mean? It was still a good match, but it wasn't, Kenny Omega. You know what I mean?
I think this is the new Kenny Omega. I think this is the Omega that we're going to see for the rest of his career.
Because of
Like,
the
not
intestine.
necessarily because of the diverticulitis or anything else. I think that this is the more reserved Kenny Omega that knows what he's allowed to do going forward. And it was still, I mean, this was like a Bryan Danielson match where he gets told you can't do the diving headbutt.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he still sits there and like for half the match, all we saw was Takeshita sitting there kicking him in the stomach. But then the
Oh, and
other
they
half of
jumped
the match
on the
was,
edge of the table, on the edge of the. I'm like, he was fucking his stomach up.
but remember, like Finn Balor going up against Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor actually throwing him into the corner of the table, knowing that it was like his first match back from diverticulitis. You know what I mean? Like they
Which
know what they can get away with. They know but
was it? This match? What match was it? Where somebody did a dive through the ropes and fucking. We thought he was dead. You remember what I'm talking about?
I don't think it was this match.
Mm.
I mm, I know it wasn't I know it wasn't the steel cage match.
It wasn't a man. No, I mean, was it Hangman?
Might have been.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that. I was like, that looked terrible.
Well, I already said that I feel like the Hangman match, with the looking like it broke MJF's nose with that
Hmm.
one drop. Like fuck, right?
Yeah, it was.
Uh but Kenny wins the title, which meant it was a bad night for the Don Callis family all around.
Hmm.
Which, by the way, once again, sits there and says Tony Khan's toys do really well. Everybody else does terrible. And when you actually start looking at it, it really doesn't help certain people. Like Takeshita, honestly, got left in limbo after this.
Yeah, but he had that belt for so long, so I think they're gonna regroup the Don Callis family. Um,
Well, except we go to this match.
What'd you think of it?
Dave Meltzer gave it a +2 stars, no matter what anybody else thinks. So this is a 6-star match, guaranteed. It was phenomenal. The match itself was tremendous. There's no way to take credit away from what these two men did in this ring inside the cage. There's no way to do it. It was gorgeous. It was artwork. It was trying to think of how many ways to sit there and just applaud how good this match was.
When he brought those thumbtacks in, you're like, Omega's gonna take a backdrop.
Not Omega.
I mean Osprey. When Osprey hit Fletcher with that Styles Clash face first, and we're like, oh, he got it in his junk. He got thumbtacks in his junk. I mean, that, and then doing we thought it was going to be a Spanish fly at the top of the cage, but it wasn't. And we thought Omega was going to, Osprey, damn it. We thought Osprey was going to land into the thumbtacks there too. It's just the way they, and then the barbed wire where he wrapped it around and did, and did the clothesline or whatever. It's, and then the screwdriver came back into play. So I mean, it's just, I like they brought that back around. So the callbacks in this match was awesome. The violence in this match was awesome. The moves, this match, yes, I agree with the 2-star multiplier.
Well, I agree with the multiplier. The problem that I have with it is that, like you said, when they went off the top and they were doing the Spanish fly and everything else, and it didn't actually go into the thumbtacks that were in the ring, it kind of reminded me of one of those matches where a tag team pulls out like the table, and then for whatever reason they just don't use the table.
But I think coming off the top of a cage on those thumbtacks would have been. I don't think that would have.
Well, the match was absolutely incredible. Okay? I'm not going to dispute that. However, you ready for what I do have an argument with? Kyle Fletcher not being one of Tony Khan's favorite toys is now literally relegated back to mediocrity. And here's how I even know that this is even more important is the fact that someone else got into the ring and still couldn't beat Will Ospreay, meaning that Kyle Fletcher has no meaning of ever being against someone Will Ospreay's level at this point.
Yeah, because he's on another level.
He's done. And my problem with this is that if you're gonna have people jump in, get in the ring, and everything else during a steel cage match where it's just you and me, end it with Will Ospreay losing the match. It doesn't hurt him, but now Kyle Fletcher is forever pushed back down the level. It crushed him.
Yeah,
it crushed the character. There's no way that he's ever going to be looked at the same level.
All right, last match. I'm gonna let you call it because
No. I want your statement on this one specifically because you got up and fucking left my house as the ending of this match was happening.
Well, I had to drive 45 minutes home.
That's not why you did it.
I said I quit. I said I quit. So Edge comes in. Cope comes in this match. It's a good match, right? It's going back and forth. It's going
Was
back and
it?
forth. Yeah, I thought it was
It
a
was,
pretty decent match.
dude. We were talking about how boring the match was.
It was decent. It was boring. Then Christian came out. This is where I was like,
It
this
was
is where
boring.
I had hope. This is where I had hope, right? Christian came down with that. I'm like, oh, right. So is he gonna? Is because he pulled? Because I think was it Edge was on? Was Edge covering, or did he pull Moxley off or pull the ref out when Moxley was in the? Somebody was in the cover. Christian came out in the hood, pulled the ref out, hit the ref, and then he hit the ref, and then he picked him up and said, "I'm a summer." Like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up, but hey, I'm a summer thing now. That doesn't make sense to me either. He signs this contract. He gets in the ring.
Why the fuck didn't the asshole sign the contract like 3 days ago? Like who came up with the fact that hey, it's a contract, but you still need because if I were anybody else going forward, knowing that these contracts, sorry, I didn't mean to stop you, but if I were like the head guy in any of these factions, I would sit there and say, bring me that fucking contract. I'm gonna sign my fucking name to it, and I'm gonna go ahead and add myself in anytime I want.
Yeah,
The fact that his name wasn't written on the contract,
I
this
could
could have been
have
anybody.
stole it.
Someone could have beaten Christian, taken that belt, taken that contract, and taken the championship.
So he signs this contract, gets in the ring, does a move, tries to pin Cope, doesn't work. He's like, okay, he hits him with a spear again. Something he gets, I can't remember what he hit him with. I think it was a spear. There's enough to knock Cope out. He is covering Cope. You see Moxley in the background, and I'm like, here comes the shit and shenanigans.
That son of a bitch was watching.
Here comes the
Like it
shit
was
and
horrible.
shenanigans. He gets in the ring, pushes Christian off, puts him in that damn choke. Christian, which I like, that was smart. He still tried to. He put his hand on Edge. I keep calling him Edge, and the ref counted. And then Matsu Rasso was going on. He's like, nope, and he pulled him back. And Christian is still trying to get his hand where he can try to pin him, and he gets choked out. So not only, and that's when I said I quit, because not only did Moxley keep his belt, they wasted that fucking contract. So now what?
Well, I agree with you. I was watching the same thing you were, and it's like, what the fuck did we just watch? Why the fuck did we stay up and watch this? Luckily, we didn't pay for it, but but that's because we're some of these people that sit there and show like our opinions on these shows. So we seem to get access to them. It's fine. I absolutely hated. I I want to rephrase. I absolutely loved Christian wanting to get involved with the match when he did. As the match was occurring, my problems that I had are pretty simple. The first one is Christian had not wrestled an entire 20-minute match. He was not winded. He was not under any duress. If somebody put him in a chokehold, in a wrestling match, he would have survived longer than anybody else because he was not hurt.
Yep. Agreed.
At the same time, Moxley, I don't know. I could try to come up with reasons for other stuff, but what I just said is probably the most important. That a 50-year-old Christian would not have submitted or passed out in less than 2 minutes. Especially knowing that he had already pinned Edge. Like, I was furious about it after being stoked about the idea of Christian winning during the match and making it a three-way dance.
Mm-hmm.
When it became something where it looked like Moxley was going to win, it became the same kind of booking that Vince McMahon did in the last 2 years in WWE.
Yes.
Fucking garbage that nobody wants to see. And it really makes me think more than anything else, Tino, and I want your opinion here. More than anything else, it pissed me off knowing that Tony Khan does not give a shit about what the viewers of his product want to see.
We always said that Tony Khan just wants to be one of the boys, so he wants to make the boys happy. So it doesn't matter what we want to see. If his new toys are happy, he's happy.
Well, except it literally is just his favorite toys that are pushing the envelope, right? So even though we want to see Swerve Strickland, even though we want to see Mariah May, or we want to see Harley Cameron, he's not going with those. He's still going with Ospreay, Monet, fucking John Moxley, whatever. And it's annoying because we've already, as a group, in his stadiums, in his arenas, sat there and flat out said, boo, meaning we don't want it. What the fuck's he doing?
He doesn't care.
He's literally late history Vince McMahon. When are people gonna start going against that? All right. We're going to get off of this. I want to ask you one thing about WWE, and that's it. Only one. And I want your opinion.
It turns into a rant, and we'll be on another 20 minutes. I got.
No, your
in the morning,
your
bro.
opinion. I'm not going to say anything. That's
Okay.
it.
That's a lie, but okay.
It's not. Cody Rhodes. Talk about him. Like what he said on SmackDown. What your opinion, your take?
I don't remember what he said on SmackDown. I honestly don't, because I fell asleep on it and I hadn't watched it. So I don't know what he said. Tell me what he said. Just give me the clip notes and I'll tell you what I think.
He basically said the same thing that CM Punk said on Monday night.
Which is?
talked about John Cena.
I really think that this is going to be Cena passing the torch to Cody at the end of everything, right? Because right now Cody is what Cena was, the face of the company, y- good guy, smiling, doing all the make a wish, being that baby-faced white meat good guy, right? So I think by Cena turning heel, he is, and I don't know if Cody needs it, but he's kind of giving Cody that rub, hey, this is the next guy. This is who you guys need to be, right? So I'm gonna be heel to push his face higher and strap that extra rocket on it, right?
I guess my question, and trying to keep it short, is do you think John Cena did this because it's really best for business of trying to make the next John Cena?
I think it's twofold. I think it's the yes, it's the what's best for business making the next John Cena, and I also think it's a thank you to the fans because remember people have been screaming for him to turn heel forever, and he never did. And he's like, okay, this is my last hurrah. You guys have stuck with me. This is what you've always wanted. Here you go before I leave. Thank you for being behind me all
I
these
mean,
years.
it's a great opinion. Uh it's a really good way of looking at it, and I don't know if a lot of people actually thought of that. I do think that John Cena probably thinks that Cody Rhodes needs someone who
Hmm.
can raise him to that level. And he knows that it's got to be someone that will actually wrestle him in the ring, which right now it looks like The Rock. I hate to say it, based on everything I'm seeing, it seems like The Rock is afraid of wrestling Cody Rhodes in the ring. And,
I don't know if he's afraid of wrestling Cody. If he's afraid of that lashback he's going to get like he did last year. You know what I'm saying?
well, but everybody expects him to be the bad guy now,
Hmm.
right? And obviously, at some point, The Rock wants to end up being the good guy, so it's going to be interesting.
And Michael just asked the question: do you think that he'll win the title at 41? If you ask him Cena, yeah, because you got to remember it's Cena's last WrestleMania, but Cena still has 10 more months. So I can see Cena winning that belt by nefarious reasons, with with The Rock's help, and Cody on the chase again, and Cody gets it back maybe SummerSlam.
Well, I don't even know if it's Cody. I would say that John Cena wins by nefarious reasons, like the way that you're saying. John Cena starts doing the "I'm only going to be here once a month" thing, and people have to like raise up to the occasion of going against him. And towards the end of his year, he then ends up sitting there going, I feel like like this isn't who I am, or whatever. Or maybe he loses really quick and then he sits there and starts arguing with The Rock about things. And then him and The Rock have a final match between each other. And that
Because
allows him to return to the glory that he is.
I think
Like,
that's what it is. I think and we talked about that last week. He'll eventually, before he rides out in the sunset, he'll go back to being face Cena again before he leaves.
I absolutely think since they're rumoring they're gonna do a Boston pay-per-view or PLE like the last week of the year, that John Cena absolutely is gonna become babyface. But it partially makes me think that if they're not gonna do John Cena versus The Rock or John Cena versus your standard heel moment there, that overall, I kind of think it's going to be John Cena versus Gunther.
Mm.
And John Cena beating Gunther in his own hometown after being run down by Gunther like weeks on end from November to December would actually be something where the crowd would absolutely, like, in current state, because right now we hate Gunther, right? In current state, and I'm not even saying Gunther's not or is champion at that point, but I could see him coming in, winning John Cena's championship, and John Cena becoming a good guy again, going against a guy like Gunther.
Okay.
Anyways, Tino, I know that you're done. I'm pretty much done. Why don't you tell everybody about you and what's going on?
You can catch me on Blue Sky. You can catch me on the TikTok at Tino All Great Music. I am on Insta at SC Tino. You can find us here on the Pots and Pan Network, Potsy and Tino Show. You can find us on Twitter, Potsy and Tino, Facebook with the Potsy and Tino Show. Remember, when you come in here, to please subscribe, give us a like, buy our shit. We want to say thank you to Adam's House Pets for the wrestling song, which you can get for the low, low price of 99 Jones. Right over to I2 Jones. Go check it out.
What's the clicking sound that you got going on? Like, what are you doing? Would you stop doing the clicking? People are gonna hate that, man. Anyway,
no, we established this just because you hate it. You're not people. It might not bother everybody else. Just because you don't like it, don't make it. But okay, I'll do this. Oh, who is this guy? Oh God, we got another dude. Look, you see in the comments. You see him?
I didn't. Let me look. Oh, it's a Twitch comment. Cheat viewers on. Yeah, we're not doing anything with that. Folks, thank you so much. We'll be here next week. Obviously, I'll be in South Carolina this weekend, but I'll be back. With that said, give us a like, give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it, and I mean it. Look, Tino's getting the Apple love. Well, he was.
It won't do it now.
That's because he kept turning the lights on and off. But
no balloons. Really?
That, folks, thank you so much. We'll be here next week. Really appreciate it. And we're ready?
Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino Show.
Thanks for watching.